Oh yeah, I remember now. So, nobody wanted to help me be part of the writing team openly. But I did have lots of help, like I had lots of friends that were like, well, you don't want it to sound like anarchy. I mean, we need a system, right? And I'm like, well, the system we got's pretty good. But, it's misunderstood. And that pretty much leaves us having to educate each other more about what we expect, our boundaries, and what we would like to contribute in our abilities, Like, so, let's see, we've got like so much to offer. Everyone has their own like form of genius, right? Like we've got like humans are like the most adaptable. I mean, wow, we're some amazing creatures, dude. Whether we were um, created, from extraterrestrial interference or gods, or whether you just natural or occurring or whatever's going on. It's beautiful and amazing, and we are way, way, way more capable than, I mean, dude, I'm only barely beginning to understand my powers just by even giving, it's like applying my education as I'm diving into all these different categories. It's just like understanding. It's just so helpful. So anyway, um, I just I want to be helpful to everyone around me. I've always been a solutions guy, and so I saw the occupiers calling out for help. They're like, they were trying to organize on the streets and doing this cool voting thing, and I was like, I liked the system that they had for on the street or whatever. And then I it was just they. I kept trying to talk about solutions, and everyone else kind of kept going to these issues about non-issues, and I'm like, how do we consolidate this? But really, I was like, we just need an app, somewhere where we could all put, like, I'm sure all these Occupy groups are talking about the same thing in every street, each city that's getting together, and half of the discussion is where we meet next week. Come on, you know, let's. So the idea for the Declaration of Interdependence was kind of saying we needed a place for this, and that really should be, since everyone's already got a smartphone, and this is in 2010 and 11 when I wrote this, right? 11 was when I published it. Anyway, when I didn't publish it, I tried to do it anonymous and just hand it off to the occupiers. And then the riots in Oakland that turned out to be undercovers, like, started the looting and all that stuff. Whoa, right? So it was like right as soon as I was about to hand them this thing that was going to be like, all right. So in there was this idea for crypto. So I mean, I only learned about Bitcoin in 2008, and I thought, well, let's just put another coin attached to all these votes and have the voting system kind of like set up more like a game, to where everything's transparent, and we could just have like we could set up to each type of vote, and it can be this way where there's three questions attached, and then the first vote would be who gets to be the experts in the field that writes the three questions to make sure that everybody is voting understands how their vote will impact reality and what the consequences of each decision will be, and so on. So it can be like, what, at an early stage, it'll be small decisions because there won't be authority. But I see that in the future, what will happen is, if this starts being used just for group decision making in all categories, all of a sudden city councils will start using it. Instead of meeting at Tuesday and wasting gas and whatever, they can all just casually over the week look at the discussion of what are these topics, and people's comments will mean something, and it will start these little sub categories that could lead to other votes and so on. And then I was realizing this will lead to a database, because sometimes you'll throw a vote on the global voting platform app and you'll be like, oh, they already voted on this in Australia and 3 times here, whatever. And you'll see the outcome and who their poll was and what the discussion was. You can read through that and you can decide whether we want to spend time doing it the other, again, and add it to the data pool and decide for ourselves, because we got different parameters, or whether we just want to use the statistics of all the other ones that have already voted on this and just decide already. So it could be a way of making decisions by going to see what other people have decided. And I was like, well, that's like pretty much teaching through the internet, like how to make decisions like a human, like a group of humans would in a group. I'm like, we're pretty much creating a database that is going to create AI. Like this, you could, like, the internet's going to know how to make decisions like a human using this. So it's like turning the internet into like the main brain, like instead of it all just like, all these comments and all into the wind, like if we just made it like our profiles were, our life profiles, what we voted for, and then what, if we are elected as experts in a field to be part of who writes the questions or whatever, then we get equality credits, these cryptos that I decided to make up to go with it. I was going to call them love coins too at one point. I was like, that's a good way to go, and just call it, intertwine all of my art together, because I'm doing Love Tribe, and I was just like, love coins and Declaration of Interdependence. I'm a sovereign being on the planet Earth. Like, God bless America, because it led us to Atlantis, and just call Atlantis like the one Earth tribe kind of thing, Once we figure it out, once everybody's enlightened and actually respectful, then we're there. Then we're all just respecting each other's rights, and we're free to do whatever we want, as long as it's respecting nature and each other's rights. Then we're not harming anything. And so, like, that's the real definition of freedom, I think, is just like, we all agree that we're in this together and we need to take care of each other on the grand scale. And that starts with taking care of ourselves, making ourselves number one, loving ourselves enough to make the right decisions for ourselves, for our future, for our families. And then, like, it echoes out. We have a tribe. We have the loved ones that we know we can trust, the people that are looking out for us, showing us that they're, excited for us when we're successful, and, people that are looking out and, talking about you in the light of appreciation and respect, And it's weird, to even have to say out loud, but yeah, choose your friends wisely,